While out fishing, Arnold spotted a shark hopelessly entangled in fishing nets. Moved by its plight, he decided to rescue the creature. But what happened next was truly astonishing. Arnold, a seasoned fisherman, had long called a scenic corner of South Australia home, where the Indian Ocean meets the shore. Each day, he set out in his trusty old boat, navigating the coast in search of fish. For Arnold, every voyage was a thrilling adventure, especially in these waters known for their abundance of dangerous predators, including the most fearsome of them all, the great white shark. However, that day, the man had no idea what he was about to experience. He moved slowly on his boat along the coastline, closely watching the turquoise smoothness of the ocean in search of fish schools. Suddenly, his eye caught some unusual movement in the water nearby. Through the slight sea ripple, he could make out the sweeping oscillations of something very large. Looking closer, Arnold spotted a huge gray-white fin slowly slicing through the water, dangerously close to the boat. His heart skipped a beat with fear when he realized it was a great white shark, one of the most ferocious sea creatures, striking terror into all marine life. However, this time the fearsome shark itself was in a desperate situation. The giant predator was fiercely struggling in the protective net stretched parallel to the shore, specifically to protect boats from such unwanted guests. Arnold knew very well how dangerous the creature caught in the trap was. Great white sharks, often exceeding 20 feet in length, are considered one of the deadliest marine predators. Their huge jaws, bristling with rows of terrifyingly sharp teeth, instill fear in all living things. Just one look at those fierce dead eyes could chill a person's blood. Nevertheless, Arnold unexpectedly felt pity for the unfortunate creature. At that moment, he could not allow even a dangerous predator to die a painful death in the protective nets. The fisherman hurried to the spot where the huge body of the predator was discernible among the waves, desperately twitching in the deadly embrace of the nets. Approaching at arm's length, Arnold found himself face to face with the gaping shark's mouth, as big as a car trunk. The mere sight sent shivers of primal fear down his spine, but the fisherman decisively pulled out a knife and began to cut the bonds restraining the giant. Being an experienced fisherman, Arnold was well aware of the deadly risk he was taking being so close to such a ferocious monster. If the shark were freed from the nets, it could have lunged at its rescuer, tearing him to shreds with one jerk of its monstrous jaws. However, human compassion apparently overcame the rational instinct for self-preservation. Ignoring the breathtaking fear, Arnold methodically cut through the strong nets one by one, getting closer and closer to the deadly captive. Finally, his efforts were rewarded. The last net snapped, and the colossal body of the great white shark gained freedom. Arnold held his breath, ready for any reaction from the shark, but something absolutely incredible and completely contrary to all notions of the habits of these terrible sea robbers happened. Instead of swiftly darting away into the depths, away from the threatening human, the freed shark followed directly behind Arnold's boat. The roar of the engine and the waves beating against the propeller did not deter its intention to accompany its savior. The shark stubbornly followed the boat like a reliable guard dog, not straying from its rescuer's side. This behavior did not fit the common perception of sharks as fierce, ruthless killers. Arnold was extremely unaccustomed to seeing such a friendly attitude from a predator usually feared and avoided in these regions. The man was completely puzzled. Why would this mighty, merciless hunter from the depths stubbornly accompany a small boat with a human aboard? At first, he thought the shark was waiting for the right moment to make a furious attack on the appetizing prey, satisfying its fierce hunger. However, the predator's subsequent behavior completely refuted these logical fears. It never once attempted to attack, but behaved surprisingly friendly and peacefully towards its unexpected rescuer. Arnold, greatly surprised, returned home. The next day, he went out to sea again, where the same great white shark was already waiting for him, tirelessly following his boat. This continued for several days in a row. As soon as Arnold sat in the boat and headed out to the open ocean, the giant great white shark immediately appeared nearby and followed him wherever he went. In this way, it seemed to express its gratitude to the fisherman for the kind act of freeing it from the deadly nets. In such moments, Arnold felt that the shark was not behaving like a ferocious sea predator, but like a loyal domestic pet. Often in the midst of the open sea, Arnold would leave the boat in neutral and turn off the engine. The giant white friend would then behave even more amazingly. It obediently swam up to the very side of the boat and stuck its huge triangular head, bristling with deadly teeth, out of the water. However, instead of lunging and tearing the human apart, the predator patiently waited for Arnold to gently pat its head and throw another treat in the form of freshly caught fish. In such moments, the shark seemed completely harmless and tame, like a domestic pet. It gratefully wagged its tail from side to side and emitted deep purring sounds similar to a cat's purring. Who would have thought that a fierce great white shark could display such touching manifestations of affection and love for a human? Arnold even gave it a name, Cindy, as if it were a regular house cat or dog. But the friendship between man and sea monster had its downside. The presence of such a formidable predator next to the boat scared away all marine life in the area. Arnold often returned from fishing empty-handed. Schools of fish, sensing the terrible underwater robber, tended to stay away. And since there was no catch, the main source of income for the professional fishermen also diminished. Despite the challenges, Arnold handled the situation with admirable composure, savoring his unique friendship with Cindy. He felt a deep sense of accomplishment for overcoming his primal fears and forming a bond with such an extraordinary marine creature. Perhaps he thought the kindness and compassion he showed to Cindy would one day be returned to him. Arnold shared with friends that his friendship with the shark had both its highs and lows. Playing with Cindy, scratching her belly, and witnessing her affectionate responses brought him immense joy and positive emotions. However, the downside was significant. Returning home without a catch had a serious impact on his income. As time passed, Cindy's visits became less frequent, and things eventually returned to normal. Yet, Arnold knew he would always cherish the memory of the fierce sea predator who had become a true friend.